What's up, everybody? It's Brett, aka FightSmith. Maybe you know me. Maybe you only follow me on social media. Maybe you don't know me at all. That's why I wanted to take a minute and make a video to talk about where I've come from, where I'm at, and where I'm going here, specifically when it comes to my health and fitness journey, right? So growing up, I was a regular Texas kid, right? And I grew up in a family of athletes. My dad played sports, my mom played sports, my older sister played sports, and I did all big three, right? The big three sports in Texas. It's the big three because they have their own seasons around them. Not like a sports season. I mean, like seasons of the year are built around these sports, right? You've got football in the fall, you've got basketball in winter, and then you've got baseball in the spring and summer. I played all three. Was I a naturally gifted athlete? No, not really. But I tried real hard. And that was something my dad always taught me, is that talent is great, but talent can always be outworked. So you might not be the biggest, you might not be the fastest, you might not really even be the best at what you're playing or what you're trying to do, but you can always outwork everyone else in the room. And that's what I aimed for. And I found some pretty moderate success. I did pretty well for myself. Till I was 15. And at 15, I blew out my knee. I had to have total reconstructive knee surgery on my right knee, which pursued the one thing that I loved, which was baseball. And that was my driving purpose. That was everything in my life was about baseball, about this sport, about being the best I could be at this one thing. And I was pretty good. I wasn't bad. Throughout high school, we went to state, saw multiple state tournaments, had some pretty decent success, and got quite a few college scholarship offers for it. Ultimately in college, I ended up not playing sports. It was something that my dad always told me that always stuck with me, is that you can be the best at something, but if you don't enjoy what you're doing, if you can't find joy in it, you're wasting your time. And honestly, if you don't enjoy the things you're doing, you're wasting everyone else's time around you too. And so it was when I got into college, I realized, I don't enjoy this anymore. I'm going to go do something else, which was fine in theory. But there was one real big issue with that. Like I already said before, my whole world revolved around sports, revolved around baseball specifically. So everything that I did was in order to help that sport, was to help me be a better athlete. How I ate, when I went to sleep, who I hung out with, when I could go on trips, when our family could even schedule trips. Everything was built around athletics. So when I took that away, when that was my one purpose in life, I didn't just remove baseball and sports. I removed my purpose. And I got lost for a while. I gained weight like crazy. Really, it came down to the fact that I just started eating and drinking anything I wanted to. But there was something interesting that happened too. It wasn't just my physical health that went away. My mental health, my emotional health started faltering too. And I could really see it. I could see it not only physically in my body, but looking back now, I could see how I physically and mentally started deteriorating. As an adult, it went on and on like this, right? And I tried all the yo-yo diets, where I was extremely strict on my calories. I didn't eat that much. I did extreme things, and I lost weight. You know, you do a 60 or 90-day challenge, and I would lose 20 or 30 pounds. But then what would happen after those days are over? The next 60 or 90 days, I would probably gain that weight back in double or triple. And there my weight went over the years, up and down and up and down and up and down. And I never really stuck with anything in particular. Why? Because I didn't have a purpose. I was doing it because I should, right? I need to be healthier. It would be great if I looked better, but it was never really a purpose behind it. But then something big changed that. It was when we moved town. We started our life over. We started here in Austin, Texas, in a place where we didn't really have a community. We didn't have a support system around us, and I was doing the same thing every day. I was filling up on sugar. I was drinking myself to death, almost literally, and I was working at a job I hated, right? And it was just miserable. Everything was just miserable the whole time. My physical health, my mental health, my emotional health, it was all garbage. But then things changed. In a singular event, we found a gym. Not just a regular gym, though, a martial arts gym. And it was because my wife was doing a 6-week kind of fitness challenge that introduced her. At the time, as I was sitting there drinking and eating donuts, Not a joke. That's how I would spend Friday nights. I would eat donuts and drink a case of beer. Cool, right? But I would sit there and watch YouTube. And I found people like Derek Wida. And I found people like Tony, Real World Tactical, right? These guys that are in the gun community that I worked in. But then there was this other part. They were associated with this thing called Phorm. But I saw them fighting. Sometimes literally, like in Tony's case, right? Literally fighting. But fighting nonetheless. Fighting for their actual lives. For their health. Their spiritual health. Their emotional health. Their mental health. They were fighting. And it was at this same time we found this Krav Maga gym. And so it was at this martial arts studio, this Krav Maga gym. And it was cool, right? It was a different way of working out that I wasn't used to, using muscle groups in a way that I wasn't used to, wasn't traditional weightlifting, wasn't real cardio I was used to. It was different. It was fun. It was cool. But it introduced me to something that I didn't realize I was truly missing until I was a part of it. And that was a community. See, it wasn't the fitness. It wasn't how the classes were structured. It wasn't what we were doing necessarily that kept me coming back. It was the fact that I was around this specific group of people. And it was that personal connection. It was that idea of this group of instructors putting me as a person first and as a performer and an athlete second that made me take things a little more seriously. And so I got way more serious with it. I started taking my training serious. I wanted to see how far I could go. In fact, I wanted to get so serious about it, I became an instructor myself in Krav Maga. And I pursued that road of what it meant to become certified. And it was a tough road. But one key that I realized was I was going to have to start taking my health and fitness very seriously. That if I wanted the best outcomes, that I had to change how I was looking at fitness. That I wasn't just doing it out of something that I should. I was doing something because I wanted to. In taking this stuff seriously, though, I needed to find the right answers. So what I ended up doing is pursuing my own certifications through the National Academy of Sports Medicine to become a certified personal trainer and as a certified nutrition coach. Why? Because I just wanted to know my own answers too. But I also knew if I could find my own answers, that if I could wade through the sea of crap that's out there, all the bad nutritional advice, all the bad workouts from all the fitness models and all the fitness professionals out there, if I could find some real scientific answers to these questions, then maybe what would help me would actually help other people too. Pow! And then fast forward a couple years. This same ideology, this same thing that brought me into this space with this Krav Maga studio, the same group of instructors, we then turned and opened our own place in Austin, Texas, and founded on that same idea of what drew me in, the community, to focus on people. Our literal tagline of our business, building safer and stronger communities, not individuals, communities first. Knowing that it would take all of us, that we are here to serve a much bigger purpose than us as individuals, but to serve a community as a whole. And that's also where I found what I truly loved. At this point in time, I'm still working in the firearms industry. I'm still working a corporate job, and I'm just putting in the time, working for the weekend, right? And filling in with classes and trying to do some personal training in my own time, not really going fully in either direction. And this is when I decided it was time for a change. Boom. Nice, I know, right? But that led me to where I am now today. To take things seriously, to take my fate into my own hands, to actively pursue the health and fitness industry, and to work on it from the same standpoint of what I found in Phorm, what I found at Krav Maga ATX, and what I'm trying to offer my own clients to now. Is that the first thing you need is education. There's so much bad information out there, and people can't act right. They can't make the right choices if they don't have the right tools, and that's based on education. If you don't know what you're doing in the metalworking world, you don't just try to start banging on metal on an anvil. You go to a blacksmith. If you're looking for the right tool or the right weapon for the right job, you have to go to someone that actually knows what they're doing. If you want to be successful in your fight, you have to have the right tool. And so it's based on education, but not just education, by setting an example. To not ask people to do something that you wouldn't be willing to do yourself. And to talk to people with understanding, with compassion, with empathy. That we need to flip the script of how the fitness industry has been. That things shouldn't be based on guilt and shame and things that you should do. It's not about berating people. It's about understanding them. It's about helping them work through their own whys, what their own purpose is, so that you don't have the same thing that I have, where you lost your purpose and you just kind of swim around in this sea of unknown. It's to help people find their why again. And that's what FightSmith is about. It's about having answers for people and then not being afraid to say that I don't quite know the answers, but I want to work with you to find them. It's about being compassionate and understanding people. But more importantly, it's about understanding that everyone out there has a fight. Like going to a blacksmith that you would trust in order to forge the right tools for the fight that you have ahead of you. That's why I'm here. Is to help you, to educate you, to be there with compassion and understanding, to help you actually figure out what your fight is, and then to help you fight it. That we're going to forge the right tools together so that you can be successful in your fight. To help them build the fight in themselves. To get their fight back for themselves, for their community, for their families. Fight for their life again. And to have the right tools, to help you forge the right tools to be mentally fit, emotionally fit, and physically fit, but understanding that it is a fight that takes a holistic nature with the right education and someone to actually have your back. So I've got your back. Just like Krav Maga ATX had my back and Phorm had my back, I've got yours now. Because I know you're in a fight. I know you've got a fight. And I'm going to be there with you. So let me ask you guys really, you ready for the fight? Because man, I am. Let's go.